Bad girl, I'm a nice guy. Liquor in my cup, I gotta really toughen up. Yeah, nurse strap.
Hello my YouTubers, how are you today? Manlykefresh here with my next WWE Pay-Per-View Predictions video, which is focused on WWE Fastlane. A lot to cover in this prediction video. Not to mention we have the return of Roman Reigns, who is now in remission from leukemia, which is really good for him. I'm happy to hear that he's able to do what he loves doing and he can put his cancer behind him. So that's good news. We also have history in the making, guys. Don't know if anyone actually knows this, but Fastlane has actually made history. Fastlane will be the very first pay-per-view in WWE history to have 3 tag team championships being defended on it. You've got women's tag team champions defending their titles, you've got the Raw tag team championship on the line, and you have the Smackdown tag team championship on the line. Not to mention you have a WWE championship on the line, where Daniel Bryan will defend his title against Kevin Owens, and we also have Asuka defending her Smackdown Women's Championship against Mandy Rose. So without delay, let's focus on all the matches that are on here, and I will give you my views on what I think will happen in each match and what the outcome will possibly be. So let's get the ball rolling. Let's go. Alright, to kick off the Fastlane pay-per-view, in fact it's not even actually going to be on the Fastlane pay-per-view, this is actually a pre-show match. It's going to be Rey Mysterio taking on Andrade, and I'm telling you, these two have a lot of history. They've worked together in the last couple of weeks and they've had some great matches. But if my memory corrects me, I think Andrade has won both matches that they've last had. Not to mention how they've fought numerous times over Smackdown over the last 2 weeks for the United States Championship, but I feel like because Andrade has won the last 2 single matches they've had, Rey Mysterio could win this one. I think it'd be a very good match as always. They're going to be high flying. The crowd will get invested in this match simply because of the fact that it's Rey Mysterio, and they know that they're 2 really good athletes. So, but I think Rey Mysterio this time will go over. So my prediction is Rey Mysterio to win. Next match I'm going to focus on is for the Smackdown Women's Championship match, which is going to be the defending champion Asuka against Mandy Rose. And just to put it out there, WWE has really dropped the ball with the Smackdown Women's Championship. It's quite obvious and evident now that the Smackdown Women's Championship takes second stage to the Raw Women's Championship, especially leading into WrestleMania, because the main focus has been on Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch and Charlotte. But nevertheless, Asuka is still a great champion. I think she's a great wrestler. She actually is better than probably the other 3 wrestlers I just mentioned. That's my opinion. Asuka is pure talent. Becky Lynch is also talent. Charlotte's talent. Ronda Rousey's okay, but Asuka genuinely is the better wrestler. But nevertheless, let's focus on this match with Mandy Rose. I don't know what to make of this. I like Mandy Rose, but Mandy Rose really isn't championship material right now. She will be one day, but she's still quite green. She's not really... People don't really see her as championship worthy, but like I said, SmackDown is generally like the secondary title, so really it's anything goes. But I do think Asuka will win this match. Maybe Sonya Deville might get involved. Maybe that Lacey Evans, I think she's from NXT, that keeps coming and doing the vignettes walking up and down like Eva Marie used to do back in the day when she was still in WWE. I think that's gonna take effect in this match, but ultimately Asuka will get Mandy Rose and the Asuka lock and will win. So Asuka to win this match and go on to WrestleMania to defend her Smackdown Women's Championship against an opponent who will be declared later. The first tag team match I want to focus on will be the Men's Raw Tag Team Championships, which will be a triple threat match with the Revival defending their Raw Tag Team Championships against the team of Team Glorious, which will be Chad Gable and Bobby Roode, and the NXT call-ups in Aleister Black and Ricochet. Now, this match is quite interesting because if I remember clearly, there was an article I read that Vince McMahon is not very into the NXT guys being on his show, and he wants to use his established stars to kind of show Triple H that his guys are still better than the NXT call-ups. However, if you look at this match, every single competitor in this match was an NXT superstar this time last year, or still currently is on NXT. But I feel like this tag team match will be really good. Ricochet is amazing. I actually watch NXT now because of Ricochet and Aleister Black. They're both two of the best high flyers that NXT has to offer. The Revival is very underrated. They deserve to be put in a better position than they are. But they are the tag team champions, so you've got to start somewhere. And Chad Gable and Bobby Roode, really, they're a good team, but I feel like Bobby Roode needs to be on his own. But in this match, this is going to be a very interesting match because Chad Gable is an awesome competitor. He's great. He's a great technician wrestler. Bobby Roode is also a great technician wrestler. You've got two higher flyers, as I mentioned, in Ricochet and Aleister Black, and also the Revival. Their chemistry together is very good. But if I have to make a prediction on who's going to win this match, I'm going to say the Revival. The Revival is going to retain their tag team championship match, their Raw tag team championships, and go on to WrestleMania. Whether that be in the main event or whether it be on the pre-show, but the Revival to win. I believe the Revival will win this match. The second tag team match I want to focus on is the newly created Women's Tag Team Championship titles, which is currently held by Hug and Boss Connection and Sasha Banks and Bayley, who'll be defending their titles against the Samoan cousins of Tamina and Nia Jax. Now, in my last video for Elimination Chamber, I predicted that Tamina and Nia Jax would win the match, but they didn't. They actually put the belts on Sasha Banks and Bayley, which was quite weird because I honestly thought they'd save that for WrestleMania. But Nia Jax and Tamina will not win this match then, because I feel like they're going to have Bayley and Sasha Banks going into WrestleMania to defend their titles, but I think everything's going to implode at WrestleMania. I think Sasha Banks and Bayley will finally fall out. I think maybe this match will be done again at WrestleMania, but this time around Nia Jax and Tamina will win at WrestleMania. But as for Fastlane, it's going to be Sasha Banks and Bayley to retain their Women's Tag Team Championships. The last Tag Team Championship match I want to focus on is the Smackdown Tag Team Championships, which is going to be the Usos defending their titles against The Miz and Shane McMahon. Now, in the last pay-per-view prediction, I made it very, very clear that I did not believe Shane McMahon and The Miz should even be in the tag team match at all, because they are more deserving teams. But now that the Usos took the championships off them at the last pay-per-view, and despite the fact that the Usos were involved in some controversial issues, I think one of the Uso brothers got arrested. I think it's Naomi's husband. I think that's Jimmy. That's related. That's married to Naomi. They got pulled over, and I honestly thought that WWE would actually punish them, but they still won the tag team championship matches. And they took the titles away from The Miz and Shane McMahon, which makes me believe now that this whole tag team scene is a setup to build for a WrestleMania match between The Miz and Shane McMahon. Miz will probably lose the match again. He'll get pinned, and Shane McMahon will go absolutely crazy on him, setting him up for a Miz versus Shane McMahon match at WrestleMania, meaning that I believe that the Usos will retain their championships, meaning that all three championships will not change hands. So yeah, my prediction will be The Miz and Shane McMahon to lose and the Usos to retain their championships. Right now, guys, the only major title that's on the line is the WWE Championship, which will be Daniel Bryan defending his Eco Championship, as I like to call it, against the returning Kevin Owens. Now, the controversy around this match is that this match was actually set to be Kofi Kingston taking on Daniel Bryan for his WWE Eco Championship, but as we know, 2 weeks ago on Smackdown, Mr. McMahon came out and interrupted the contract signing, taking out Kofi Kingston and replacing him with Kevin Owens. Now, I do believe Kofi will get his championship match eventually, but it'll be Kofi Mania. Kofi will get a WWE Championship match against against Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. So as for Fastlane, Kevin Owens and Daniel Bryan will be a very, very good match. I believe this will be the very first time they've met in singles competition in WWE. The last time these two ever faced each other probably was in Ring of Honor a few years back before they came to WWE. So, well, I say a few years back, let's try almost 10 years. But yeah, I think this match will be very good, but there's going to be a few elements that's going to pan to who wins this match. So let's take into consideration Kevin Owens has just returned. I don't think WWE will want to tarnish him, to have him losing the match cleanly. So I believe there's going to be a few outside interferences. So maybe Kofi might interfere with the WWE side of things with Daniel Bryan. So he's going to come out and interfere with the match with Daniel Bryan. And maybe a returning Sami Zayn could interfere with on the side of Kevin Owens. You know, everyone knows that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn have a love-hate relationship. So maybe Kevin Owens is about to get the win. Sami Zayn comes out, attacks his former best friend, and goes for the beat down on him, costing him the match. Or even Eric Rowan could even come in. Now, also, another factor you've got to take into consideration is Mustafa Ali has now come into the fray. Does that mean that Mustafa Ali might inject himself in the match, which could possibly lead into a triple threat at WrestleMania, where Kofi Kingston and Mustafa Ali are now going for the WWE Championship? So, without writing on too much, let's just now break it down as what will happen. Irrespective of whether anyone gets involved or not, I do believe Daniel Bryan is going to retain his WWE Championship. And like I said before, they will not make him have a new designed WWE Championship. They're just going to give it away at a minor pay-per-view. That Fastlane is not a major pay-per-view, it's a transitional pay-per-view. And I feel like Daniel Bryan is going to retain his championship. So which means that throughout this whole pay-per-view, all my predictions are that no championship will change hands. All the champions are going to retain their championships. So Daniel Bryan to win. Right, the next match I want to focus on is the Shield versus Team Corbin. So I think because of the fact that Roman Reigns has now returned to WWE, this match is going to be higher on the card than the WWE Championship, which I think is kind of odd, when I think the WWE Championship should actually be last on the card, but it won't be last on the card for another reason, which I'll point out later. So, Roman Reigns has returned, and as I mentioned before, he's in remission, he's free to wrestle again, but I don't think this match is going to be the Shield completely dominating the match. Now, I'm going to make a prediction straight away and say the Shield is going to win this match for obvious reasons, because Roman Reigns is back. Dean Ambrose is free as turned face again. Seth Rollins has turned face again. His face was always been face actually. What am I talking about? But anyway, the Shield is together. But there's a few aspects of this match you've got to take into consideration. I don't think Roman Reigns is technically fully allowed to compete at a high capacity level. Seth Rollins is injured, and I think they're going to protect him a bit longer until he fights Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania for the Universal Championship. So what I think is going to happen is going to be a few outside elements here which are going to take effect. So the almighty Bobby Lashley and the Demon Scotsman are probably going to do a number on Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins. Baron Corbin now is probably going to be the one that's probably going to get pinned eventually, because I think they're going to try and protect Bobby Lashley now for Finn Balor, who I think is going to get involved in this match. So Finn Balor is going to get involved in this match, and he's probably going to attack Bobby Lashley. Baron Corbin's going to come into the match and attack Baron Corbin, and probably Kurt Angle will come out and attack Drew McIntyre. As a result of this, probably sets up to a triple power bomb from the Shield on Baron Corbin, with the Shield will take the win. So my prediction will be that the Shield will dominate the other team through to outside interference. And finally, the main event, which I feel is going to be this match at Fastlane, is going to be Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch. And let's face it, Becky Lynch has turned into the next Stone Cold Steve Austin. She's probably the hottest WWE superstar at the moment. And the way they've set up the story for Becky Lynch so far, leading to WrestleMania, has been absolutely fantastic. In fact, I have to take my hats off even to Ronda Rousey this past Monday on Raw, where she turned heel and absolutely went crazy on Becky Lynch. And then the next night on Smackdown, which was yesterday, Charlotte and Becky Lynch had a standoff in the ring. Charlotte attacked Becky Lynch, and Becky Lynch managed to get her in the disarmer, despite the fact Becky Lynch is still hobbling on one leg. But I feel like right now these three women are the main focal point of WWE, and good for them. It's finally good to see the women of WWE finally getting the respect and acknowledgement that they deserve. Even if it's only through three women, mainly, it is still an achievement compared to what WWE used to be like a few years ago. So let's focus on this match. So this match basically is Charlotte versus Becky Lynch. If Becky Lynch wins this match, she'll be added into the Raw Women's Championship match to make it a triple threat, which will be the defending champion Ronda Rousey taking on Charlotte and Becky Lynch if she wins. If she doesn't win, Becky Lynch is done. Now, let's face facts. Becky Lynch is going to be in that match. We know it. Everybody knows it. Everyone's predicted it. Becky Lynch is going to win this match. How she's going to win this match is what we need to decide now in this video. Is she going to win cleanly, or is there going to be outside interference? So, let's see. So, I don't think this match is going to be a back and forth thing. I think it's going to be a case of Becky Lynch is going to go in kayfabe injured. She's going to be she's going to be made a victim in this match, I think, personally, by Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair is going to focus on that bad leg, going to get her in a figure eight submission multiple times. But a part of me feels maybe Ronda Rousey might get involved, might attack both of them. I think because she beat the hell out of Becky Lynch on Monday, she's going to come in on Fastlane and beat the living hell out of Charlotte Flair, which may probably lead to both women being on the floor unconscious for a while now, because I think it's going to be a DQ match, and they've signed that stipulation that anything goes in this match. And if that Becky Lynch gets re-injured, I think Becky Lynch is going to be outside. She's going to be really injured on the floor. The fans are going to think, oh my god, Becky can't continue. Charlotte does her usual wooing and showing off and all of that. And I think after maybe a couple of minutes, I think maybe Charlotte might go out, try and finish off the job. And then out of nowhere, Becky Lynch gets her in the disarmer. And I think Charlotte won't tap out. I think they're going to try and protect Charlotte as well leading to this match. Charlotte won't tap out, but I think what might happen is Charlotte might try and break out of the disarmer, and Becky Lynch rolls her up for like a schoolgirl or something like that, one of those quick pins, and Becky Lynch wins the match. So yeah, that's my prediction. Becky Lynch to win the match, probably from outside interference from Ronda Rousey, and she'll be added to the Raw Women's Championship match at WrestleMania. So that's all my predictions for the Fastlane pay-per-view. Right, so after Fastlane, that'll be it for all the pay-per-views going into WrestleMania. So the big pay-per-view of the year, which happens in April, is going to take place, and I feel like if Becky Lynch does not win this match, and they do not put Becky Lynch in this match, it's going to be a big massive uproar. So let's just pray they do add Becky Lynch, and hopefully all my other predictions come to pass. So ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to subscribe to my channel, like the video, comment on the video, and if you don't like the video, dislike it. And as I always say, any kind of attention is better than no attention. So that's me done for this video, and I hope you guys enjoy Fastlane. Take care, bye bye.
Bad girl, I'm a nice guy. Liquor in my cup, I gotta really toughen up. Yeah, nurse strap.